My favourite piece of API gear is a lunchbox.
API lunchbox.
An API lunchbox is my front end.
Never go anywhere without it.
Get that fat sound, you know, it's easy to control. It's modular, I can add to it as my budget grows.
I can go into any environment and I'll have my reference. I usually use it on kick and bass.
It's been invaluable for the live recording, vocals, acoustic guitars and bass guitars.
My favorite API product, that's impossible to say. I don't have a favorite, I love them all.
One of my favorite pieces these days is the 2500 compressor.
Without a doubt, my favorite piece of API gear is the 2500.
You know, I can use it as a mix bus compressor, or I can use it, I found, to be a great vocal compressor.
You can stereo link them with a variable, so it's not a hard link, but you can say, okay, I want 30% interaction between, or I want 60% interaction. No one had thought of doing that.
It's just very versatile. It allows me to go and do what I need to do without having to think about it. You know, I don't have to worry about what the outcome's going to be.
Yet another piece of gear that makes you lazier as a mixer, because you can actually put it on a vocal and you can do less rides because it just has a way of keeping that vocal right on your nose.
I would say my favorite piece is probably the 4-band EQ. It just sparkles on the high end. And when I especially cutting like acoustic guitar, it's just the ultimate EQ. In fact, this week I've been cutting a lot of acoustic guitar and I use the API mic pre into the 4-band EQ. And I just can't tell you how when you open up the 20K frequency on the top end, 4 to 6 dB, it just brings all the air and life into the music without sounding hard or digital, harsh at all. It sounds just warm.
If I had to pick one, if I was gonna go buy one thing right now, it'd be the mic pre. I just, you know, they're so invaluable to the recording process for me.
I still love the original 312 preamp. That's still, to this day, my favorite API product.
312, the 550A, and the 560 I use pretty much daily on recording drums and guitars especially.
There's something about the API over other mixers that has a kind of a glue. It sort of glues the mix together.
It has a hug factor, which the other consoles don't. They have a remote factor. You know, you're running up and down the console to adjust something.
The API console that I track on doesn't get in my way with so many bells and whistles and complicated functions that are hard to understand. It helps me sort of get to what I need to get to quickly.
The most important issue that brings up is you're moving outside of the monitoring sweet spot to make an EQ change. It's crazy.
So I can get the sound I want without having people wait on me or without, you know, fishing around for something that's hard to find.
It was just very easy to make things sound good and to get the clarity that I wanted to get out of things.
It's very musical. And from the EQ to the mix bus, the mic pre, obviously, I mean, the whole chain is just very musical.
You know, it's kind of like if you play a lousy instrument and then you pick up a good instrument and you realize how much easier it is and much more pleasant to work with or to play.
But a lot of it is really the sound of that console. And, you know, people try to give me more credit than I deserve, I think, sometimes. Maybe the credit is just that I've chosen to track on that console.
It's hard to pick a favorite. It's like, what do I need to record today? That'll tell me what my favorite is today.